closed-in form. I'm cutting down. Hey y'all, welcome back to my shop. I'm in the process of turning a lidded box out of a scrap from a cherry bowl, large cherry bowl that I turned, and I got part way into it. And I thought, well, y'all might be interested in seeing what I'm doing with this thing. It's about 5 inches in diameter, which is much larger than the boxes I typically make, and it's about the base is going to be about 3 inches deep. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the lid yet, but as I started turning it, it became obvious to me that my normal box hollowing technique with a spindle gouge wasn't going to make it, because it's just too large for that. So I had to use my Jameson hollowing rig. So that's where we are, and we're getting started. This is being turned green. I know it's going to warp, but it's a spindle orientation, and I'm hoping to get a lid arrangement that's going to be very loose fitting, and that they'll both distort equally, and it'll be a seasonal kind of a fit. This is a big hollowing apparatus with a large footprint, which makes it awkward to store. I thought you might be interested in a couple of pictures that I've got of how I put this away and store it in a sump pump closet, so I'll show them here. You can see I've got a little plate up on the wall that the top of this, the back of the D-ring handle just kind of hangs over. So let's go ahead and get started hollowing. This is a good sized project. This is a nice starter hollowing project because it's got a very large mouth because it's a box instead of just a pure hollow form. So if you're just starting out hollowing, I'd encourage you to look at this type of form. I've got this adjusted with this tool wrist dialed in so I can cut exactly on center. And we're just going to first open up the center of this. One other thing I thought I would mention, I talked about earlier, I've got some sciatica problems, and I got a couple of cortisone shots. They're helping, but I believe they're wearing off. One of the tricks I found that if I lean my butt into the back of the lathe and take some of the pressure off, it makes it easy for me to manipulate with my left hand or even right hand. So that's kind of an accommodation. I don't know if you can see that, but I kind of got my right hip leaning up against the bed of the lathe. We're just going to come across. After I get the center hollowed out, I'm going to have to switch to a different cutter, so we'll come back when I get to that point. Okay, I'm using my depth gauge to measure the depth. That's how deep I want, and I just compare that against the tool to see if I can find something that I can see that, well, I don't have to bother to mark it. And yeah, the back of this set screw is exactly the depth that I need to go. I think you can see this tiny little, if I can get some light on it, that little light button at the bottom. That's a little bit proud. So what that's telling me is my cutter is a bit off center, so I need to drop it just a little bit, and then I'll look at it, because the tip of that cutter needs to be exactly on that little button, and I think that will, see if I can show you where that, so that'll get it right there. Actually, I can kind of scoot across it here, see if I see any cut marks. It looks like that's right on center. So let's go ahead and take that center down a little bit. Take that little nub out. Okay, let me give you a little better view of that while I'm cleaning out. You got to clear this out a lot, and these are pretty wet shavings from this cherry. I say shavings, really sawdust, because we're cutting end grain. If I was cutting side grain, we'd be getting a few shavings. Alright, let's get back at it. Actually, move my tool rest up a little bit for support, now that we've gotten down in there ways. Lean my hip into the bed. And just Okay, that's as deep as I need to go. If I go any deeper, I'm going to have a problem. Okay, now I've got to count for the wall thickness. I'm going to use this curved cutter, and I need to calibrate this thing. And that's pretty close. In terms of wall thickness, that line is 3/32 of an inch. So I think that'll be pretty doggone close. Get the tool rest back a little bit. All right, let's get started. Closed in form, I'm cutting down. You can see this, just barely. When it comes off, I know I'm at the right wall thickness. I want to catch it just before it comes off. Now, as I get toward that outer wall, I need to recalibrate. Make sure that I'm setting the distance right. So I'm going to clean out some of these shavings. I want to make sure I know where the cutter is, so we're going to have to adjust this just a bit. There. And I think I'll go get the compressor. Okay, we got it hollowed down the bottom. We've got it sanded on the inside a little bit. It's green, so it can't be perfectly sanded. I put a little bit of a rabbet or a recess here with a square nose scraper. Now it's time for reverse chuck this thing and finish the refining shape. So we're going to take it off of here. We're going to keep all this as part of the bottom of the box, and we're just going to tuck this in. We're going to do that using a jam chuck. So I'm going to substitute this chuck. We're going to use a 50mm chuck. Because I had a jam chuck out of some pine that'll fit this. So now we're going to measure the inside diameter with some calipers to get a feel for just how big this needs to be. I want a chuck that will fit inside and also fit in this ridge. That's just a hair big. That'll give me a pretty good idea. So let's go ahead and just take this down. Alright, this is side grain, so I'm going to use this tiny little bowl gouge. Just a bit of a chamfer, and then we'll just do a little trial fit till we get it right. Close. I'm going to have to resort to bowl calipers. I need to measure right here at the bottom. And that's pretty thin. Not too bad. So if it's clear there, I should be able to wrap around and I should be able to blend that in and make it fit. I may have to make this of a bit of a foot and wrap it under here and turn this into a bit of a foot. So let's put this on. Alright, so let's bring up the tailstock. Give this box some tailstock support. I think I'm going to use a cone. I don't want to damage this any more than necessary. We've already got a little indentation there. I think the cone will hold it steady without doing any more damage. Okay, we're going to bring this under, tuck this under, maybe not quite bring this into the corner. I gotta take this off once or twice to check it. Okay, get a spindle gouge. We're gonna take this down first. And it's running nice and true. Let's speed up a little bit. Alright, I'm getting a little nervous about that corner. Let me take this off and get those bowl calipers and measure it. Make sure we're not going to go through that wall. I don't think so. I think it's pretty thick. Feels thicker to my fingers than I would have thought. Okay, I got plenty of room there. Let's see if I got plenty of room at the bottom. Oh yeah, I got lots of room. Okay, so I've got a good shape going. May need to put this on the vacuum chuck to clean up the bottom. Don't know if I trust this chuck. I think I'm going to change centers though and just bring up soft touch. Something that'll hold it secure without drilling that hole any deeper. Switch to a 3/8 inch spindle gouge. Just pick up the cut right there. Okay, I've got that nice join there. Large enough base to support this box. Just got to figure out how to clean up that bottom. And I think I will use a vacuum chuck because I've got to get rid of some of that damage. Of course, I need to make sure that the bottom is flat, and it is.